So let me share my screen. Let me know once you see the screen. Okay. So first, let's understand what is testing. Any idea what is testing?
Yeah, it's a set of procedures to test, develop software, ensure that we
See, basically, when you see any kind of software, the three core modules will be there. One is development, testing, and deployment. These are the three core modules in a software development. The first core development is the developers is going to develop the application based on the requirement. Right here, the requirements are the base, right? So
okay.
once the application is developed, and then the test engineers is going to test the application based on the requirement, whether it's working as per the requirement or not. That's what the testing team has to do it. Either it is manual or either it is automation, doesn't matter how you're going to test. So we have to test the application whether it is working as per the requirement or not, right? The quality of the software we're going to test. So that's what the testing is all about. Okay. So the testing is has two types. One is manual testing and automation testing. Manual testing and automation testing. So any idea what is manual testing?
inspector manually checks each step of each feature of the developed software.
Exactly. So we're going to test the application without using any automation scripts or tools. We're going to test the application manually, whether it is working as per the requirement or not. That's called manual testing. And automation testing is by using any tools and by writing some scripts. We're going to test the functionality of the application, whether it is working as per the requirements or not. That's what automation testing, right? So let's understand what we are going to learn as part of manual testing in this course, right? Here we're going to start from the very basics because yeah, maybe some students or some people will not come to IT background, they'll be coming non-IT background, right? So for all them,
Yes.
we will be starting from what is software, and then what is project, and what is product, and then what is SDLC. You know what is SDLC means?
Yes, software development.
Yes. And what is SDLC?
Yes, software testing.
Yeah, so these are all very basic of software engineering. We're going to discuss all these fundamentals of software engineering before we start testing concepts, because it's very important to understand the process in a company while developing application, while testing the application, right? And after this, we're going to learn some models, software development models, SDLC models. So models like we have a waterfall model
Yes.
and iterative model, and we have increment model, incremental model, and then spiral model, and then we have V model, And then we have prototype model. And then we have agile model. Right, so why we use these models? Because based on what kind of application you are building or based on the complexity of the application, we choose any one of this model and then we develop the application, right? So nowadays, most of the companies are using Agile model nowadays because it's more compatible, more flexible in order to develop the application. So most of the companies are using Agile model to develop the application. So here in this Agile model, we'll be learning Jira tool as well. So you will be I'll be showing the real time how this Jira tool will work and how this Agile model will work. Here in the Agile model, we have different meetings, different ceremonies like sprint stand up and then sprint planning, sprint retrospective, sprint refinement, right? And sprint demo and all these meetings. Who are the people are involved and what they discuss in the meetings and all. We're going to discuss in it's a kind of real time scenarios we'll take and then we'll discuss here in the agile model. And all these models, we're going to discuss what is that model, what is advantages and what is the disadvantages. So this is you should understand maybe in interview if they ask what is the difference between iterative model and incremental model, and you should be able to explain. But not it's in real time maybe may or may not we use this all these models, but I'm sure we're going to use the same model for sure. These are the models, and after this we're going to jump into the testing concepts, types of testing. So types of testing. So here we'll be learning what are the different ways we're going to test an application. Like we have main functional testing and non-functional testing. Functional and non-functional testing. So here again you have functional testing. We have different types like black box testing and white box and gray box. Black box, white box, and gray box. So again, black box. So it's kind of only will test the functionality of the application. What do you mean by functionality in area? The behavior of the application, right? So when you click on something, how that application is behaving is called functional. When you click on some button or some link or anything in the application, how that application is behaving is called functional testing, right? And in this functional testing, we have black box, white box, and gray box. So black box testing is completely the test engine is going to perform and how that application or the functional of the application, whether it is working fine or not. It's called black box testing. And white box testing is basically the developer is going to check how the code is developed. The internal structure of the application will going to test in white box testing. It's basically who has the knowledge on coding, they're going to involve in white box testing. So gray box is the combination of white box and black box. That's called gray box. Okay. And here in black box again we have unit testing and integration testing, and then we have system testing And then we have UAT testing. And then we have regression testing. These are the different types of testings where we will perform to make sure that application is working in all in different types. Retesting,
Oh,
retesting, and then smoke testing, and then sanity retesting, and then positive testing and negative testing. And then we have positive and then negative. Um, we have ad hoc testing, exploratory testing, and then we have monkey testing, and then we have ad hoc testing. So these are the different types. We need to understand each and every type of testing, what it is, and then when exactly we'll perform this type of testing in real time. Okay. This is all very important for the interview purpose. They might ask what is smoke testing, what is sanity testing, what is regression testing, what is retesting. Right. These are all very very important.
okay.
And this all comes under functional testing. And if we come to non-functional testing, so what do you mean by non-functional testing is the performance testing, right?
Yes.
Performance testing and GUI testing. What do you mean by GUI?
Um, no idea.
Graphical user interface, the UI of the application, like how that yeah, yeah, how the button is displayed, the text is displayed, or the how the grammar mistakes.
Oh,
So all this comes under non-functional testing, like security testing, right, and recovery testing. So this all we're going to discuss non-functional testing. So performance testing, again we have load, stress, and volume. Okay. So this we're going to learn as part of types of testing. Is it visible? Can you say it?
yes, yes, I can see.
Yeah. So if we close this, so after types of testing,
Okay.
then we'll be moving into test scenarios and test cases. Test scenarios and test cases. So here we'll be writing how we need what is test scenario and what is test case, and then difference between test scenario and test case, and then how we need to write test scenarios. and then how we'll write test cases. These are more practical because as a software test engineer, always will be writing test scenarios and test cases, right? As part of our daily activities, first thing we need to understand the requirement. After understanding the requirement, we need to write a test scenarios, and then for the test scenarios, we have to write the test cases. So that is a daily activity. So we have to be very, very strong in writing test scenarios and test cases. So what we do is we take live applications, real-time live applications, and then I will be giving requirements. You have to understand the requirements, and then you have to write the test scenarios and test cases. This activity will be go on like 3 or 4 days because it's very, very important. Even in the interviews, they will ask you to write the test cases. They might give any requirement, anything, any object. So you should able to understand, and on the spot you have to write the test cases. So that is that much important, test cases.
Yeah.
Yep. And here test case design technique also we will discuss test case design techniques. So here, what are the different test case design techniques? While writing a test cases, we need to understand like boundary value analysis, and then equivalence class partition, equivalence class partition. Then we have error guessing, and then we have state transition. So these are the different test case design techniques we need to understand when exactly we have to implement this technique while writing these test cases. Okay, so we'll be discussing this test case design techniques as well, and so after this we will be discussing about defects. So defects is all about if you find any mismatch or if anything is not working as per the requirement, then that is a defect. And then once you find a defect, what we have to do? We have to assign the defect to the developer, right? So here we will be learning what is defect, and then how we will raise the defect, and what content we have to provide while raising the defect. Okay. And also we'll be learning defect life cycle. Learning defect life cycle and uh, severity and priority. So these are things we're going to understand in defects part. Okay. So these are things we'll learn in manual testing. Any questions?
No. Okay.
Clear, right? So yeah. So after completing manual testing, you'll be having mock interviews, to understand how you are understanding the concepts and how you are explaining the concepts in the interview. So based on that, we'll be giving the feedback, and also we'll give you, where exactly you have to pick up yourself, whether it is in technical or it is in presentations or it is in confident or communication. So wherever you are, lagging or, based on that, we're going to guide you and for the next mock interviews.
So, I testing first.
Yeah, we have to start. We'll be starting the manual testing first. Yes.
So there will be projects in that.
Yeah, the project means we'll be giving the live applications. You will be working in a live applications, and so project means here the most thing is the test case part. So you'll be writing test cases in the real time. So you will be giving a lot of requirements, lot of different requirements to write the test scenarios and test cases. So this is the real time you'll be working.
So we will be like writing test cases for real time.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay.
That is the real time live applications you'll be working on it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Got it.
That is manual testing, and then it comes to automation testing. Here we'll be learning Java and Selenium. So this is Java is a programming language, and Selenium is an automation tool, right? So why we have to learn programming language Java? Because we use this programming language, and then in Selenium we will going to write the scripts in Java programming language in order to automate the test cases. Okay. So here we'll be learning core Java concepts. So core Java, like you have data types, and then variables, operators, and then arrays, conditions, and then loops, and then classes, what is class, and what is object, and what is method, and then what is static and non-static, and then you'll be learning OOPS concepts, object-oriented programming, like inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, right, and abstraction. And then you'll be having sessions on Java programs. Okay. Any questions here? So here we'll be taking you from the basics of Java. And, we don't require all the topics from the core Java concepts. So whatever is required for Selenium automation, we're going to learn those concepts.
Okay. Okay.
And the main important thing is the Java is prerequisite for Selenium, because whatever we write the Selenium scripts, we're going to use all these concepts somewhere, definitely. So we should be very strong in very strong in Java programming, all these concepts.
Yes, yes.
If
That's
you,
pretty, I have some study,
oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So we'll be practicing all the programs related to each and every topic. Almost more than 100 plus programs you'll be practicing. So in interview also they will ask you to write the programs to check how good you are in coding knowledge.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So after this code Java, we will be moving into actually not directly Selenium. We'll go with HTML. So HTML, why we have to learn HTML? Because in Selenium, always we look HTML code to find an element in a web page. So why this HTML will be used to build the skeleton of the web page, to build the structure of the web page by using tags and attributes, right? So in Selenium, we will be looking at the HTML code always to find an element. So before we start the Selenium, we have a couple of sessions where we will understand the HTML code, what are the different tags we use, and then what are the attributes we have, so that it will be easy when you come to the Selenium and by looking at this HTML code, you can understand. Okay. Once that is done, and then we're going to start Selenium. So Selenium here, we're going to write Selenium WebDriver. So Selenium WebDriver is a tool we're going to use to automate the web applications. Here, we will be looking at first thing is locators. Selenium locators. What are the different locators we have in Selenium? Why these locators is we find element by using these locators in a web page. I'll show you one example. So what are the different locators we're going to discuss here is ID, name, and class name, and then CSS selector, and then tag name, XPath, and link test, and then partial link test. Partial link test. So these are the different locators we use to find element. So what do you mean by element? So let's see that one example. I'll show you how this Selenium locators will work. Uh, a web page, like you'll see a text box. You know what is text box, right? Sindhu, are you available? Sindhu, are you there? Okay, I just want to show you the HTML
Text box.
text box, and then we'll see that radio buttons, drop downs,
Mm.
links, images, right? So you'll see all these things in Selenium. You are going to automate all these things, right? So you want to, in order to enter the text in the text box, so manually you just go and type some text, right? But in Selenium, how are you going to write a script to enter the text in a text box? How are you going to select the list in a drop down? How are you going to select the radio buttons? How are you going to click the links? So this is what we're going to understand, in each and every element in a web page, how are you going to handle that? So let's say, for example, working with text boxes and then radio buttons and then drop downs and then checkbox and then we have links, right? And then calendars, tables, and we have alerts. Who need to handle alerts, and then windows, frames, and then mouse actions. Okay. So after mouse actions, we'll be learning there's some concept called synchronization concept. So synchronization concept. So what is this is the different timeouts, right? Different timeouts in Selenium. And then we're going to learn page object model and then page object factories. And then we're going to understand the frameworks after that. We'll start frameworks. So here we'll be learning test engine and then BDD Cucumber. BDD Cucumber and then hybrid framework. And then we have a data-driven framework. Hybrid and data-driven framework. Okay. So these are the different frameworks we're going to explore. So this is what we're going to learn in Selenium, how we're going to automate all these things. Okay. So apart from this, we'll also understand what are the tools you'll be, uh, you know. So here you'll be explore tools like, so anyway, Jira is one of the tools we'll be learning. And then Maven is a build tool. And then GitHub is a source code management tool. And Postman, we'll also learn Postman for APIs. We'll be learning API testing as well for APIs. And no. So Postman is a API tool, and also we'll be learning SQL. Okay.
Okay.
Database also you will be learning as part of this part of the course.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Any questions?
No, no wonder. Yes.
So in Selenium automation also you will be working in a real-time applications. We will give you the scenarios, and you will be automating the whatever the test cases you're going to write in manual testing. You're going to automate the same test cases in Selenium so that you will understand how we need to connect this manual test cases to automation testing. Okay.
Yes. And like the duration is the
Yeah, so see what is that benefits you'll get here is yeah, let me show you LMS. So we have an LMS portal. I think Nurani has already explained to you. LMS portal, through the LMS portal, every day assignments will be given, a task will be given, and the resume building and everything you can you can generate, you can prepare a resume from the LMS portal itself, and we will be evaluating that resume building. We will help you to put the some good strong projects in the your profile, so that will be kind of more weight. So here you will be learning manual testing, automation testing, Java, Selenium, and then API testing, database, GitHub, Maven, and Jira. These are the tools. If you keep all these things in your profile, this is a kind of full stack QA. Okay. So now the companies are looking these kind of profiles.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's all from my side. Please ask if you have any questions.
Question. So I had a doubt because for testing I'm completely point. So I had a doubt that whether I could get some suggestions for the resume and all.
Yeah, that we will take care of it. We'll take care of it, resume part and all. That's not a problem. You just focus on getting the skills, the concepts, how we need to explain in the interview, how we need to be more strong in Java programming language and in Selenium, so that you focus on that areas, and then resume preparations and all. We will take care of it. That's not a problem.
Yeah, thank you.